Blood for the blood, God, skulls for the throne of corn. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for chaos training, and it's a back and bicep day. I decided today to do all my back work underhand grip because I'm actually a little bit stronger on chin-ups versus pull-ups. I want to just focus on good ranges of motion. Want to make sure my biceps are getting worked. And yes, I'm mitigating my volumes a bit. So I kind of want to make sure that no matter what happens, in case I have weeks where I don't want to do a 6-day, my biceps actually get really good stimulus earlier in the week. And a lot of this is because my diet's being adjusted, and I'm wanting to make sure that I'm recompositioning effectively, bringing my conditioning and stuff back up. I need to make sure I'm not going to get overuse or overtraining, and I need to be able to progressively overload everything. And I think that's kind of a take home when it comes to looking at our volumes, making sure that I'm seeing progressive overload. And I saw it today on the curl, so it lets me know, hey, it's good. Let's try to continue with that trend. We need to generally get stronger at most of my exercises. So again, with the chins, because I'm trying to get as high as I can, I'm trying to go from a full stretch at the bottom. So for me, they're a full stretch. Most of them are from a dead hang. If you guys notice, that is my hang, right? Making sure my scapula come apart, and I'm trying to come up kind of as high as I can, trying to get the chin over the bar when possible. So I'm only able to get about 5 reps. And so on some of those, like that last rep, I kind of do that eccentric under control. I get good back stimulus there. I feel pull-ups a little bit more, but it still works. I still get good lat activation. All right, barbell rows. And again, yeah, I know I still got a little of the loose skin. Feel like it's been slowly improving though. Just got to get leaner. It'll keep tightening up. Of course, I don't have a belt here, unflattering angle. Still looks pretty reasonable. Pretty happy with it. So on these, I'm like, oh, let me grab 225. I use the deadlift bar because it's easier to grip. Because I want to make sure that my grip is not completely limiting me on those underhand grip rows. I'm able to get right at 6 reps with the 225, which again is fine. If I wasn't able to get 6 though, we probably need to reduce weight. And it is definitely taxing on the grip. I can feel the grip here, but these limited. So when I went to do these on each of these sets, when I got to the 6th rep at the bottom, it just wouldn't move. It just kind of stuck at the bottom. So this is muscle failure, right? And people don't seem to always understand what that means. It's muscle failure means you try to do a rep and the weight doesn't move. It can miss in the middle also, but in this case, because the bottom is the hardest, I just can't get it out of the bottom. Once I go into that stretch, that's it. It just kind of sticks and it doesn't come back up. So I reached failure on these on rep 6 on all 3 sets, which again, right about where I want to be for my sweet spot. And I try to get that stretch. So I try to make sure my scapula come apart. We go to the full range of motion at the bottom without swinging the torso too much. And then we went over to just barbell curls, right? And I picked up a rep. So on Saturday, on my arm day, I did these fresh. I managed to get 6 reps using this form, slightly loose form, a little bit if I need to just to get it moving, but it's very minor, right? Very, very minor. It's not perfectly strict though, right? Not perfectly strict. So I don't want to call it a true strict curl because there's a little bit of movement. But I gripped it a hair wider because I look at it and I go, I feel like I might be getting a little better activation if I go just outside of shoulder width. And it did. It felt really good. And I picked up a rep. So I got 7 reps on all of these as opposed to 6 reps, which is what I got this weekend. We got 6 reps this weekend. And so getting 7 puts us into progressive overload. And I managed to get 7 on all the sets. I got 6 on all 3 sets on Saturday. So I picked up 1 rep, okay, with this heavier weight. 2 of them all the way to the face, right? Trying to be semi-strict, but knowing I can't be super strict. Because like if I drop down to 75, I can be super strict and get, like 10 reps, 11 reps, sometimes 12. But if I go heavier, I just can't. I can't move it out of the bottom on the first rep particularly. But we got 7 on all of them. So again, that's progress, and that's what we want to see. As long as we're seeing progressive overload on the bicep movements, we're making progress. But I do have to look at this and go, I don't know that I need 20 sets of anything, especially considering I'm doing conditioning, I'm lifting pretty heavy. I feel like a lot of my muscles really about 7 sets for some of them is what I'm doing, right? Realistically, my posterior chain, my quads, my chest. But keep in mind, there is overlap, and we do have to remember that. Squatting and deadlifting, there's overlap back and forth between that stuff. So the glutes get hit a lot. The only argument is how much quad and hamstring. My glutes are getting 14, 15 sets easily. So same thing with the other stuff, like my chest. Okay, I did 7 sets of pressing. And then tricep work, but do chin-ups count as a secondary? I don't know. Front raises, I feel like work chest for me a little bit, and I'm going to do those on shoulder day. So there's going to be a little bit of overlap, but I think delts, I'm definitely going to do 12 direct sets for delts, right? Training will be a little shoulder biased, but I feel like with the arms, my arms have been growing, but I feel like I've been overtraining them. I feel like at this point, the volume's been getting into junk volume, and I really just need to focus more and more on quality work, right? We want to get quality work, and I still did some band work to finish at the end to get that burn, but I'm like, look, let's push some underhand grip lat work. Since my back is bigger than my biceps, let's do that. Okay, push progress on those, and then get in on these really serious curls, and let's push them hard. Let's try to get some progress on them. Take these heavier weights that I moved up to and see if we can get reps, and we did. Right, I got 8s on these. On Saturday, I got 8s. I got 9 or 10 reps on all these sets today with this same weight. So again, my bicep isolation work has improved, but I'm down a little bit of weight with the adjustment in carbohydrate. So again, making progress. Arms are getting stronger. We're slowly tightening up. Deadlift, bench, squat are all up a hair. So, I'll take it. But yeah, definitely progressive overload. And at the end of the day, this is still pretty high volume, because if I count the chin-ups and underhand grip rows as biceps, this is 13 sets. And it's all hard sets, right? Some of these sets are right at failure. Some of them are 0 reps in reserve. All these curls, though, I tried to do one more rep and it just wasn't there, right? It just wasn't there. They're just sticking at the bottom. And I know people are like, but if you don't miss in the middle, but I don't always miss in the middle. I do sometimes. But in this case, that's what happened. And I managed to get the most reps on the last set. I just dug in harder. I'm like, well, let me try to get a little bit more. But either way, all 3 sets were more reps than last time I did this, and while doing more work first. So again, biceps are getting stronger. And if biceps are getting stronger, then we know that we're growing, right? We know that we are gaining muscle. So we keep doing that. But at this point, I feel like as long as my biceps continue to grow kind of in proportion with everything else, I'm still going to get to my goals with it, right? At this point, I want my training to just be proportionate now. Obviously, there's a little bias towards arms because I do all my compound movements hit the arms for my chest and back. I don't do anything that does it. And then we isolate biceps and triceps, trying to work these other angles that get missed. And then I finished up with a set of high rep band curls to failure, approximately 25, took them to failure. All the other stuff was, 7 to 10. This ended up being, right at 25 for that one set. And we do bands for blood flow as a finisher and to work the tendons, which would be helpful again for deadlift purposes, right? And I'm looking good in there though on this set, right? Shoulders, everything are pumped. And then I finish up with a set of hanging leg raises like most workouts. Overall, very happy with the workout. I feel like I'm going to grow from it. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.